Yo, my people, your boy is back in town. As you lot know, I've sold out, so I ain't been getting any orders. But you know what? I'm getting people. I'm getting returns. Yeah, I've had 3 returns this week. I had 2 last week. So I'm like, God damn it, there's something going on. But you know what? The truth is, I don't think nothing's going on. I just think returns is inevitable. Return is just part of the e-commerce game. Like, you can't be naive and think everybody is gonna love your product, you know? Everyone has expectations when they buy things, right? Sometimes it's not gonna be what they want, but what they thought it was, right? So it is what it is, isn't it? Like, you're not always gonna be able to please everyone. Like, my understanding is the average return rate in e-commerce is around 10 to 15%, and even like 20% on the higher end for more like apparel and shoes, right? Of course, they would have more returns, and then I would have assumed consumables would be more at the lower end because you can't exactly return supplements, right? So yeah, like, it's part of the game, isn't it? Like, you can't exactly avoid it. However, it is important when it comes to marketing your product, right, that you don't sell a dream. And this is why when people be out here lying in their advertisement or in their copy, what ends up happening is you're gonna not meet your customers' expectations, right? And you're gonna under deliver, and when they get the product, they're gonna be like, what is this crap? I didn't want this. Do you get what I mean? And this is why it's important to be honest, and if anything, over deliver. Because if you buy something and you get more than you want, you'll get me, you're gonna over deliver, you're gonna be more excited, right? But if you over promise and under deliver, then people are not gonna be happy, and they're more likely to leave a bad review or return it, right? So I guess that's a way to prevent returns, is like, don't be out here lying or selling a dream, or promising it does this and that and it doesn't, right? Or the quality is this and that and it's not, right? Because people will pick it up straight away, because they've bought based on your copy or based on your promises. So now they have this expectation. So it's important that when you are doing copy for real, is that you be as honest as possible, and you don't be out here selling dreams. Do you get me? So that's the way you can obviously avoid it, but overall you can't avoid it completely, innit? Like, returns is part of the game. So you know I've looked at the data, because of course, like, I started getting more returns than usual, and I had to like figure out like what's going on. But you know, like, breaking down my orders, for example, I've sold about 180 products, and I've had about 8 returns so far, right? So it's around a 4% return rate. So it's not bad at all. Like, it's actually really good comparison to the industry standard of around the 10 to 15%. So we're good, but at the same time, I need to keep an eye on it. I need to manage it and make sure that it doesn't carry on. Because the thing is, I'm given a 30-day guarantee on my products. So until they pass that 30-day threshold, they can return at any time, right? So got to be prepared for that. So yeah, another thing is just trying to find a way where I can prevent taking too much L's in it. Because essentially, if they return the product and it's unused, I can potentially resell it, but that depends on the quality that gets sent back. If it's at a certain standard, then I can't resell it. However, if it's unopened, barely used, then I can potentially resell it, and then I can obviously recoup my losses on that one. Because of course, if they return it, I'll lose the product costs, I'll lose the advertisement costs, and I'll lose the cost on the return label, because obviously I paid for them to return it to me. But you know, there's ways you can offload the cost, where it's like, for some of the products that I can't resell, I'm just going to put them on the side and use them just for giving to creators, for example. So there's ways to make the most out of returns, but it is inevitable. But I think, again, the biggest way to kind of prevent returns is just make sure that you're not over promising. Do you get me? Because you got to remember, when you're selling to people, yes, you are selling over the internet, but you are selling to real people with real emotions, with real pains, you know what I mean, that have expectations. And if your product doesn't meet their expectation or doesn't fix their problem, then what do you think they're gonna do? Do you get it? Especially if you promise them a 30-day guarantee, it's part of the game. So I've accepted, and I think you should too as well, if you are selling products, that your product's not gonna make everyone happy. You know what I'm saying? It'd be great, but at the end of the day, there's always gonna be people. You know, everyone's designed differently, right? Everyone's got different personalities. Some people, do you get me, will buy it, use it for 10 seconds and want to return straight away. Do you get me? You're gonna get some people that want to give it a bit more time. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a whole bloody human, innit? So yeah, just having to bear that in mind. That's part of the game. But yeah, I'm just really, my main focus is just keeping an eye on how many returns are coming to get a full idea of the percentage of how much returns they are. As well, every time someone returns something, I email them and ask them, do you mind giving us feedback to tell us a bit more about what was it that didn't work, what you didn't like? Because essentially what I'm doing now, so far with the 8 people that have said it's not helping and they've returned it, of course, I'm writing down exactly what the reason was. So then I can group up, you know, out of the 8 people, did 3 people say the same thing that wasn't working? Or was it 4? You know, what is the percentage of people? What is the main issue? Because then we can then use that to again fix it, right? So that's important. So just hypothetically, let's just say you were selling electronic and everyone was saying that the battery life wasn't great. Everyone was saying the same thing. You know, okay, next, when it comes down to tweaking that product, you know, okay, I need to increase the battery health or whatever it is. Do you get what I mean? So really, feedback is always good. It's part of the game, right? It's all part of the game. I'm starting to see a slight pattern on what the problem is. Again, like, I still think it's a small scale. It's not enough people to then say that's the main thing. But again, it is important to take on board all the feedback customers are saying, because you are essentially the customer's right, in it. You are selling to the customer, and the customer knows best. If you want to find out what works, is just ask your customer, innit? So you'd be a fool not to ask them what the problem was instead of just returning, just refunding them, innit? So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Still small, however, yeah, let's see if it stays at the percentage it is, and yeah, we'll just have to go from there, man. But yeah, just wanted to jump on and say that, really, that yeah, I'm getting these returns, and yeah, just gonna have to see how many come through. I say in the next few weeks we'll be in the clear, because yeah, there's a 30-day guarantee. So my last order was what, 2 days ago, so we'll know by the end of the month, we'll know within a month, you know what I mean, exactly how many people have returned it, and that will kind of give us a good idea how much returns are we getting average based on a certain amount of orders, right? So yeah, we'll see. But that's it, people. Anyways, I hope you're having a good week. Still haven't had a chance to really dig deep down on the dropshipping stuff, but I will over the past couple of days, and definitely over the weekend. I'm gonna make sure that I get back into my zone. You get it? But yeah, my people, peace and love, and I hope you're blessed, and I'll catch you in